YouTube, Ronin Kaze, nailing the start this morning, the start of a new week. Updates. So, I'm back in Ashes of Creation. They've had a couple patches. I stopped playing when I was level 15. The leveling is just brutal. And it hasn't changed. So I'm still on. I really enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the class I am. I'm a bard. You self-heal. It's almost, if you could like, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. If you could buy me a cup of coffee, have your friends subscribe. It would really help me out. It doesn't cost you anything for that part. Thanks. So Ashes of Creation, I really enjoyed it. I like the fact that the travel was a little bit dangerous, right? So it's kind of good. In the mechanics of the game, though, if you got higher level, that should probably be something that they unlock. You know, one of the rewards when you get level 50, you can fast travel. But when you're a littler character, at least on your main character, you don't want every character. If you have 5 characters, you don't want all the beginning to be so tedious. I don't know if it's going to change as it gets on. Sorry for my throat, YouTube. But right now, I'm glad I got it, but I'm waiting for more developments. More importantly, I talked to you about rolling releases in Linux. And I installed openSUSE Tumbleweed and have committed to all my Fallout 76 videos. I'll play on that system and run it from there. It was okay to do it. It was to get everything going. There's some prerequisites I need, and I've told you about this before you go to Linux and you look into distros. Number one, I got to be able to play Steam. I got to be able to load Steam, play my games off Steam, and then I need to be able to use OBS. And I'm sure there's some other things that go on, and I got to use KDE because of, you know, I just like it. It's ubiquitous for me for all these distributions. So I installed openSUSE Tumbleweed. It went great. I said, hey, on my other laptop, I have a it's an Alienware, but it's when Dell bought it. So, right, it's a Dell Alienware R13, 13-inch laptop. Has a dedicated, it's not the right word, Ronin, graphics card. Has a, you know, the integrated graphics card, and then discrete graphics card. So, in the research of openSUSE Tumbleweed, I saw this release called Rhino Linux, based on Ubuntu, but it was a rolling release, had built-in containers, and looked really great. I've been flirting around with Void Linux because I like the name. And so I downloaded Rhino Linux, made a dongle, USB dongle, and tried to install it on this R13. It already had CactiOS. Already worked perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. It was beautiful. The ISO never boots, never starts, never does anything. I reburnt it like 3 or 4 times. Not a fast process. Never works. I go, well, let me get Void. I get Void. I get it running, and I go to install it. Installer is text-based, which is okay. But then I got to manually define the disk. Haven't copied down the information. Don't know it. Donezo. I reload Rhino Linux and try to put it in. I said, maybe I've messed up the ISO burner. And I was using the SUSE burner, and I said, maybe that's it. So I downloaded the KDE image burner and did that. It still didn't. It would boot, get some errors, and then just hang. So then I said, what are other rolling releases? There's a long list of them, but really there's only, let's say, 5 to 10 that are really well known and used. And here's the other thing. A lot of them are based on Arch. So I don't want to just have tons and tons and tons of Arch distros. Yeah, we get it, right? So I'm trying to get the different, that's why I went with openSUSE. That's why I was trying to do this Rhino Linux. So Solus, S-O-L-U-S Linux, is kind of an independent one. It's not really based on anything. It said it was for gamers when I'm reading the description and all that stuff. So I download that, burn it. It boots up fine on that USB. And I install it. Says it's made for Steam and gaming. Oh yeah, you're going to love it. So I have to do all these terminal commands, a whole bunch of stuff. And I finally get Steam installed, and then I'm trying to install OBS, and just, then it's enough. I just say it's enough. Then I say, okay, great. I still want to load something different. Let me load Garuda, which is a gaming kind of distro, because I want to have that gaming stuff. And it's Arch-based. That does the same thing as Rhino. It just won't boot. I just say it's over. That I'm done. I go on my main machine, make a virtual machine. Rhino Linux just boots up fine. Great. So my ISO is good. I don't do that with Void because it's just too complicated, right? We want an operating system that just boots up. Everything's good. I don't need to prove my technical prowess by typing in sudo commands. I can do that, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to install it once and never do it again. So part of having this knowledge is a little bit, it's like using Fdisk back in the DOS days. Once you got your disk set up, you just didn't want to use it anymore, right? You have your 5 megabyte hard drive and I'm never going to be able to, worry about this ever again. So when I go to their websites, everything, it's easy. It's so great. Their websites are slick. So I download a copy of CactiOS, put it in. And on my stubborn Alienware R13 that had CactiOS in the beginning, Catchy loads fine. Everything works. Steam's installed, OBS installs, all that stuff installs for gaming. How did I get to pick CactiOS in the first place? It was just kind of dumb luck. I looked at all three. I've always had problems with Fedora. Those kind of problems I had were with Fedora. So it's probably some type of installer, how they make their live, right? I eventually got Nobara to work, but I had to download a bunch of stuff for it, right? Not everything was in there. So what I'd say about rolling releases is that there's not a ton of a wide range, and we're going to have a lot of, choices. And I haven't run into the problems that people have said. I have various machines that are on Catchy that are in various levels of update. I don't sit around and update every machine every day. Like my handheld, I hadn't updated for a while. It updated fine. Everything updates fine. Everything's fine. And we'll see with openSUSE. But I'm committed. Right now I'm on a Fallout 76 kick, so I don't record every Fallout 76 thing I did. So later on, just for my personal enjoyment, I went out and played Fallout 76, buffed up my character, repaired some of my things, just the things that you probably don't want to see. Maybe you do want to see that. Here I'm in Ashes of Creation. One of the always tests are fighting these Minotaur. They're a little bit harder to do. This might be a level 16. I can immediately tell. You can tell when I'm struggling because I just start hitting all kinds of keys. Because I'm scared and struggling. Because my health got to 50%, YouTube. So that's kind of my, how long does it take me to kill them? When they're level, I'm level 15. When they're one level above me, it's a little, this kind of happens. When they're my level, it's okay. When they're one level below, it's fine. And really, that's who I should be fighting. The problem is, even though the difference in XP is like maybe 200 XP, you're getting like 2200 XP. Maybe you get 2000 for level 14. It's just the amount you have to level is incredible. Which makes me believe that the game in Ashes of Creation, that the game is more meant for grouping, and you would sit and do dungeons and all that kind of stuff. I guess I'm halfway between, like, I'd love Skyrim, but if people could come in my Skyrim, and I know Skyrim you can do that. But I like coming across people and maybe helping out, throwing a heal once in a while, maybe grouping up, and I did that before. That guild I joined, I quit it almost immediately after. They moved on, and they said, hey, come down and join us. I didn't know where it was. I don't know how to play the game, man. There we go. God bless you, Myth, wherever you are. So on rolling releases, even though it works for me, it really is I think it's the most well implemented on CactiOS. That seems really well curated. It works on all my machines, and it's on my daily driver on my main system. You know, I wouldn't move it off there forever. It's great. So openSUSE we'll see what happens with that. But I really enjoyed Catchy. Everything worked. I hit when I reinstall it, that's Roxy. She's not happy with all the rolling releases. I just hit the one button, it loaded Steam and everything. OBS was in the library. Right, it's done. Solus, I had to jump through a bunch of hoops. And all these people's websites, are they testing it? And you can't. And so let me back that up. I apologize. I appreciate all you people that make distributions. I love trying them and doing stuff. And maybe I should be a tester on my wide variety of hardware and give reports. Maybe that's how I could give back to the community. But some of the loading isn't great. And I understand what a technical Linux person, those of you that know what you're doing, are screaming right now. All I had to do was load the new update here. Shouldn't have to. That's the fundamental thing that you're fighting versus Windows. The reason there's an opportunity for Linux desktops to grow is because Windows 10, not Windows 11. Windows 10 doesn't have any support, so that's an easy argument to make to anyone of any age. You can still play all your games. You're going to have to learn new software anyways. You might as well have one that's going to give you security, and there's no real penalty for using it. Windows 11, again, you don't have the penalty, but you don't, if you're on Windows 11, there's no real penalty. You still have security. What's great about Linux is the same thing that's great about Android phones. You can change, your launcher, basically, to put it in terms that the majority of you will understand. As long as the underlying Android/Linux works, who cares what the window dressing looks at? And the rolling releases I prefer it. I like that everything's updated all the time. I don't read the notes. I don't care. I'm assuming that you're doing your job. Otherwise, I could just get, Ubuntu just works all the time too. So, and that's probably why people recommend Mint. If you don't want to be, Ubuntu is the is the distribution your parents use. It's not the distribution that you use. Your parents use Ubuntu. You use Mint, but it's roughly the same thing, right? You too. So when I was thinking about doing a video, I was going to criticize the people that make the distributions. That's my bad. That's wrong of me. You're volunteering your time. You don't have every PC in the world to do it. I'm some schlub in the United States that's having a problem on a Dell. I don't buy Dells first. Okay, so this part, not scared of. Dell is great in the corporate world for IT people that can lock you out of everything and make it so, Dell computers are great for the corporate world. but they're not great for personal computers. I'll just say that. Because of the things that are built into the security that keeps you from, finagling with things. This is what I like about my build right here. You see a guy jumps me, I'm at half health. Easy for me to say. And I'm getting healed every time I do damage, so I'm staying roughly the same. And every once in a while when I can throw my self-heal, I do. And I weather the storm. Now, the anxiety, because I'm less than half, is incredible. I loot them and I'm going to go on. So that's kind of the update. Ashes of Creation, it's a hold. Rolling releases, it's CactiOS or nothing. And installing different ISOs. Probably do more research, see if it runs all the software, your prerequisites that you need. Again, what I'd say on this channel, OBS and Steam, because I'm making videos of games and I'm talking over them. So that's what I need. Why don't I use Linux for everything else? Well, that's a story for another time, but basically has to do with a pen. All right, YouTube's Ronin Kaze. I'm going to get out of here on time for once. Have a good one. Ronin Kaze out.